The purpose of this video is to introduce a radian measure. So we're probably all very familiar with the concept of measuring angles in degrees, but radian measure is another form of angle measure. So what is a radian? Well, let's try to equivocate this to degree measuring. So we know that if we have a circle, and say we start at a point, and we rotate all the way around the circle, we make one full revolution, well, we know we've gone 360 degrees. Well, if you think about how many increments that is around the circle, that's 360 very small increments. Well, a radian measure is different in that you're actually going larger increments. So if you think about a circle, it has a radius. So if I have a circle, let's say this radius length is r. Okay, well, that distance, if I think about going that distance around the circle, that is actually 1 radian. So I'm going to try to just approximate this. So let's say that is the length of that radius. Well, then that would be what we would call 1 radian. That would be an angle that has a distance of 1 radian. So your angle measure would actually be something like this here. This angle here. So how many radians are there in 1 revolution around a circle? Well, we can figure this out, and we can equate it to 360 degrees. If you think about it, we have a formula for this. We know that the distance around a circle is called the circumference, and we know that the formula for circumference is 2 pi times r, and r is for radius. So there are actually 2 pi of these radiuses, or radii, which is plural for radius. There's 2 pi of these radians around a circle to make 1 full revolution around a circle. So if you go 1 full revolution around your circle, that's equivalent to 2 pi radians. So let's think about this in relation to degree measure. So let's say I rotate up to this point right here at the top of my circle. Well, we know that that is 90 degrees because I've gone a quarter of my circle. Well, if I have 2 pi radians in 1 full revolution and I've only gone a quarter of that, I need to divide that by 4. So that simplifies to pi half. 2 over 4 is 1/2. So that's equivalent to pi half radians. So a quarter, a 90-degree angle is pi half radians, a quarter of a circle. Let's say I rotate around to maybe this point here. Well, we know that is 180 degrees, right? That's what we call a straight angle. If we rotate all the way over to here. So what is that in radians? Well, we have a full 2 pi radians in 1 revolution, but we've only gone half of that. So we need to divide that in half. So that would actually just be pi radians. Let me erase some of this markings that I've got here. So now let's keep going. Well, what if we do a rotation and we go around to this point here? So what is that angle going to measure? Well, we know that's 270 degrees because we've gone 3/4 of the way around our circle. So what is that in radians? Well, we know we have a full, 2 pi radians, but we actually only need 3/4 of this. So if we do the simplification here, then we're going to get 3 pi over 2 radians. So we can convert back and forth between degree and radian measures. So how would we do that? We need a conversion factor for that. Well, if we can just remember that if we have 2 pi radians is equal to 360 degrees. If we can just remember that one key fact, you can always derive your conversion factor. So I can simplify this and I could say, well, okay, let me divide both sides by 2 I know that the radians and the little degree symbol, those are our units. So then I'm left with pi radians is equal to 180 degrees. And you can keep simplifying. We could divide again by pi on both sides, and these would simplify out to 1, and we would see that 1 radian is equal to 180 over pi degrees. So this is going to be our conversion factor. We could go the other way with it as well. We could start off and we could say, well, 2 pi radians is equal to 360 degrees. And you can use a degree symbol, or you could write out the word degree as well to help you remember that's your unit. And then we could divide both sides by 360. And this would simplify out to pi over 180 radians is equal to 1 degree. So those are going to be your two conversion factors that are really important when you're converting between radians and degrees.